Alright, so usually I have to explain a character at the start of the video, but this fight is 12 seconds, so I don't have time to do that, and I'm not even joking. This fight is literally 12 seconds long. We get the stun right there, we drop the SP1, and there we go. That's it. 12-second fight, Battlegrounds health pool. Obviously there's a lot to explain with what just happened, but let's talk about Thor Ragnarok for a second, because this is a fully boosted 6-star Ascended with a full synergy team, so you would expect good results, but I didn't think it'd be this crazy because now we have this Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, and yeah, this is one of the toughest, if not the current toughest science defender in the game, and he is just going to absolutely destroy this fight. So here we go for the SP1. We get a beautiful crit that just wipes her health. That's it, man. That's pretty much the fight dealt with. We go for one more SP1, and that's it. Dude, that was a 20-second fight. That is absurd. That is genuinely absurd. And yeah, rank 4 Spider-Woman health pool, like a Battlegrounds equivalent, in 20 seconds. And of course, the biggest thing here is that Mr. Bill synergy, because my goodness, what it does for Thor Rags is just unreal. So the synergy lets Thor Ragnarok start with his Thunder God's Wrath for 10 seconds at the start of the fight. So in those short fights, it is honestly, for the most part, enough to just complete the fight in 10 seconds, which is absurd. But for these type of fights, which is, by the way, a 1 million plus health Spider-Woman Jessica Drew, that is unreal, obviously. But like I was saying, it's crazy how much of a head start it gives Thor Rags, and then once you get into the regular loop, you have the advantage of the other synergies on the team, and one of them, of course, is the champion. What the champion does is it gives Thor Rags plus 0.8% attack rating up to 100 hits, so he can get up to plus 80% attack, and pair that with his burst damage with the armor breaks, and it's pretty insane. Right there, that burst damage was just unreal. And now the stun chain starts, and that's the craziest part about this character. I talked about the damage output, that's obviously amazing, but the real crazy part is he can just stun chain to infinity, and that's really it. Additionally, I do have one other synergy that really does help. By the way, 150,000 burst damage, that is unreal. Oh my god, dude. And that was a 1 million plus health Spider-Woman in a minute and 10 seconds. But like I was saying, there is a Purify synergy as well. It's the Quicksilver synergy that lets us have a 75% chance to purify any debuff on us. I'm pretty sure it is non-damaging actually, but that's still pretty insane. And now we have this Dark Phoenix. I am not kidding. We have a Dark Phoenix, and this is just to show how crazy the control is for this character. Additionally, one other nice benefit is whenever Thor Rags inflicts shock or has a shock active on the opponent, their ability accuracy is reduced by 20%. So once you drop that SP3 and you're in Thunder God's Wrath, you will probably fail a ton of stuff, and it's genuinely crazy. For example, right here, we failed the Nova Flame, we go for the SP1, she can't do anything, right? That's just a part of his loop. He just completely locks out Dark Phoenix from doing anything, and now the Immortality is about to trigger. Don't fail that, but we do fail the Nova Flame, so yeah, we're not taking any more damage in this fight because we have her in a stun lock that she cannot escape out of. So yeah, this is just really insane. And there we go, Dark Phoenix down in about a minute, but it's all about the control in that matchup, because that control is pretty much just unmatched, really. That stun lock is so dangerous, and being able to take Dark Phoenix is just a bit surreal. But now we have this photon, and I thought to myself, this is probably a Thor Rags trap, right? Because whenever you stun her, she gets that invisible and he can't counter miss, or so I thought, because yeah, like I said earlier, for each shock on the opponent, they lose ability accuracy. So you have ability accuracy reduction, you also have a stun chain, and he has just damage that's really off its rocker. He also has Purify with the synergy, he has armor break, he has a lot of good things, really. And yeah, Of course, a lot of it is like with synergy, and like you really see this character pop off when it's all put together. But even at base, he is a really fun champion, and he still has some crazy damage and control. But with synergies, when you put it all together, it's really just insane stuff. So here we drop the SP3, and yeah, so the shocks, like I said, reduce ability accuracy by 20% each. So like, if you have a healthy amount, which is like 3 to 5, you will just have full control of like pretty much all of the abilities of your opponent, which is insane, obviously, right? Here we go for another SP1. We have some pretty nice crits. We have a 32,000 medium. That's absurd. We go back in, drop the SP1 again. Power gain is back up. We're not critting all too much. That's fine, because yeah, all about control here and just like shutting off her kit, which we've done with absolute ease, because yeah, this fight is over. I messed up. I thought that the combo was enough. It wasn't enough, but it's fine, because yeah, we got the fight down. Minute 28. It wasn't like, you know, the Spiderwoman like levels of fast, but it was still pretty dang good. Now we have this Enchantress here, and yeah, if you think about it, he can take a ton of defenders if he just has access to that stun loop. So my thought process for Enchantress was, okay, I bait out a couple of special attacks, no big deal, right? Get the spells out of the way, and then once I hit that SP3, there's no more spells, there's no more damage reflection, it's just pure stun lock. That was my thought process, and you know, sometimes my thought process, it turns out to be pretty okay. Also really funny, but she did activate the untouchable spell, but we just failed the untouchable, so that's really funny how he can just fail some of her spell stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's just Thor for you. That 20% ability accuracy per shock is just a bit insane at times. Like I showed you in that photon fight, he completely shut off her kit with like just 3 or 4 shocks. It is really crazy. But here we drop the SP3, and she still has like 1,000,000 health left, I want to say, but it doesn't matter, because from this point onwards, she is not going to do anything to us, especially with that damage creeping up too, because those crits are absolutely unreal. And yeah, this one is as good as done. My god, bro, just like my god, this character is so crazy. And have I even talked about the part with like the Wheel of Fate? I haven't talked about it. I was gonna talk about it, but then I got sidetracked. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about it. Dude, we got robbed, because Wheel of Fate came out. They were like, okay, you get the selector of all the champions that you have to fight in the quest. We're like, dude, nice. We have either Torch, we have a couple of good options, we have the collector's option of Thor Ragnarok, and just kidding, he was snubbed from the pool. I do not know to this day, why don't you have the collector option of Thor Rags? Like, is he game breaking? By himself? No. With synergies, maybe, okay, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. I will admit, maybe he's a bit game breaking with synergies, but, like, then again, synergies are solely falling out of, like, the meta of just, like, the game in general. And, like, whenever I make these videos, it's just for fun. I know that synergies are, like, fizzling out of the game, and that's okay, right? But I still want to have fun with these characters. And imagine a 7-star Thorax, dude. Like, will you use him in, like, Battlegrounds, in, like, Alliance War, maybe Alliance War, but like in like Battlegrounds, for example? Probably not, right? Because he just, by himself, I think he's a fine champion, but I do not think he's at the level of like his synergized self, which is just like absolutely unreal. But just like even at that, it's just a collector's option. It's just a fun little option to have him, like, you know, from Wheel of Fate. Let's say you do Wheel of Fate, which by the way requires a massive roster, so there's a good chance that you have all the characters in the Wheel of Fate selector already. Guess what? I did. And so having that fun / collector's option at Thor Rags would have been so cool. And I guess like the big question is, would he have been too broken as a 7-star given his potential with synergies? You know, I think him with synergies is like absurd, like genuinely absurd. You can stun like 1,000,000 plus health with a fully boosted 6-star. Can't imagine the fully boosted 7 stars like ceiling. It probably doesn't exist, but I would still say that given what you have to invest to make him really pop off, I do not think that like a 7-star Thor Rags would have been that, that game breaking, and it would have been a great reward for Wheel of Fate. But instead, we got robbed, and honestly, I'm still upset about it, especially after making this video with Thor Rags just absolutely terrorizing all these matchups. That previous matchup was Thunderstruck, which I feel like is one of his best uses because he has shock all the time, especially with that beta ray build synergy, so you get it at the start. But then we have this matchup. This matchup is really cool because it shows Thor Rags not just being like a SP1 merchant and just like, spamming that. Because here I do actually have to use the SP2 because, fun fact about Thor Rags, you can inflict armor break if you don't inflict shock. Because the shock, okay, no. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, so to inflict the armor break, you have to have like the ability to shock. So against this Silver Centurion, who is shock immune, we can't get the armor break going until we drop the SP2. Once we drop that, we manually place an armor break, and then that enables the shocks because it disables his immunity, and then we get to go like completely haywire. So here we have the power gain, we drop the SP2, and then yeah, the armor break is applied, his shock immunity is now gone, so now we can just go in and absolutely rinse this man. And the best part is, once the shock immunity is gone, the shocks, they reduce the ability accuracy, so we fail the armor up, so we can just keep on going in and keep on doing damage. And so for that reason, this guy just absolutely melts, and it is a really fun time. And there we go, the fight's done, fail the armor up again, and that's just a bit absurd, really. So yeah, that's Thor Rags, man. He fails abilities, he has a stun loop that can go for millions and millions of health, he has access to armor break, he has access to purify. This character is a bit absurd, and it still pains me to this day that we got absolutely robbed of a 7-star Thor Rags from Wheel of Fate. I wish it was an option, because I would have picked that option without any hesitation. But yeah, I'm honestly really enjoying covering fun characters and like underrated champions like this. I might just keep on doing it for like the foreseeable future because, meta showcases, meta champ showcases, those are a dime a dozen, but then you have champs like these that really do make you appreciate like some of these characters, man, because they're so underrated, they're so good, and they just need a bit of a spotlight. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on 7-star Thor Ragnarok. I mean, not 7-star because we don't have that because Wheel of Fate absolutely robbed us. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on 6-star Thor Ragnarok, and yeah, that's about it for me.